Hey everybody, I'm Greenhavak,
And I'm Cynize.
and this is Good Luck, Have Fun. And welcome everybody to Good Luck, Have Fun. Week 5, days 3 and 4. So we are getting close to those playoffs. In fact, we even have our playoff predictions in this very episode. So Gladiators versus Fuel kicks off the day, followed by Dynasty versus the Shock. And then finally, the Valiant versus Dragons. That's our day 3. But Gladiators versus Fuel, where are you going?
I'm going with 3-1 Gladiators.
3-1 Gladiators.
That's
I'm going
right.
3-1 Fuel.
Okay, I understand. But Gladiators, man, I'm telling you, the strategic value of this team can overcome the mechanical superiority of the Fuel. That's what I believe, and that's what I am hoping is going to happen.
You know what I am excited for, though?
What's
Both
that?
of these teams are the teams that run Doomfist.
Oh, my goodness. Are we going to have a Doom-off?
Exactly.
Yes.
And on top of that, the Fuel like to run Doomfist offensively, where the Gladiators like to run him defensively.
We're
So-
definitely having a Doomfist off.
Exactly. So
Yes.
I'm really excited to see how these two teams play a kind of controversial character in a way. So that's going to be interesting to look out for. You got to watch out for Effect. I feel like if the Gladiators don't do something to neutralize his play, Effect is going to be kind of the player that could snowball this for Fuel.
Sure, and I think the Gladiators realize that, and not having XQC on the roster for Fuel is going to hurt them as well, and it has been hurting them, and that's why I think Gladiators have a possibility of taking this 3-1.
You know what? I originally, when I was looking at this this week, thought to myself, yeah, you know what? Gladiators could take that game.
Yeah, sure.
When they lost 4-0 to the Uprising,
I don't like thinking about that.
I went, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, Uprising is a good team. If they were versing Fuel would have a chance of getting 4-0 against the Uprising as well. That's my belief.
Very fair. But we're going over to the second game, Dynasty versus Shock.
You know what? I'm going 3-1 Dynasty.
3-1 Dynasty. Okay. For me, I'm going 4-0.
Okay.
Like I said, I have the Dynasty going. We can't drop maps. We can't lose games. We are making these playoffs, and we're reasserting that we are a dominant team.
Sure. I mean, I feel like the San Francisco Shock is going to not a full-out lightning strike, but maybe a little tingle here and there just to take one map.
Get a little shock.
Yeah, a little shock. Little shock. But I'm really hoping they take one. Maybe it'll make the finals or the playoffs a little bit more interesting for Dynasty. Maybe they're going to be fighting for that third spot. Maybe they can, fight with someone coming up in the ranks. But we'll see. But I'm hoping that Shock takes one map.
I will say the big thing for Shock, if Shock is going to take a map off the Dynasty, is they need to put their entire offense together.
Oh, that's right. They got to crumble. They got to make Dynasty crumble, which is nigh impossible since they are such a huge team that just works together so well.
Well, maybe if they want to get the Dynasty to crumble, they should just look at that Spitfire's Dynasty game from last week.
You know what? I think they will. I think they'll be studying that, making sure how they can hold against the Dynasty.
Because Birdring pretty handily got the better of Fleta on those opening 2 maps, and I gotta say, I think a lot of what Birdring was doing, I think Baby Bay can at least emulate.
That's true. I mean, if not, he can definitely get the support from his team in order to make up for the lack of mechanical skill.
So wrapping up,
which not saying he doesn't have. He has plenty, but just not as much.
That's very true. Wrapping up day 3, we have the Los Angeles Valiant versus the Shanghai Dragons. Do you have the Dragons pulling out a little upset or anything?
You know what? This entire week is going to be like these lower teams maybe getting a couple of games in. I'm going 3-1 Valiant, but Dragons are taking that one map.
I have the Valiant getting the 4-0, and honestly, it's because I feel like they're going, because I have Dynasty beating them earlier in the week. I have the Valiant coming back a little upset that basically kills their playoff hopes, and they want to finish out the stage with a good win-loss ratio, keep that map differential high, and just immediately eyes on stage 2.
I feel like the Dragons are going to be coming into this with a win from the Fuel and being like, you know what, let's mess some stuff up. Let's destroy people's hopes and dreams. And they're going to be taking out a map from Valiant.
You know what? It's possible they did take a map from the Dynasty.
That's right.
They easily could at least claim a map. And they took the Fusion to overtime, so you can't quite underestimate the Dragons. But moving on to day 4. Day 4 kicks off with the New York Excelsior versus the London Spitfire, followed by the Houston Outlaws versus the Boston Uprising, and wrapping up the standard day before playoffs, the Florida Mayhem versus the Philadelphia Fusion.
Now, we already had a day to watch, which was the first day, Wednesday. But if you have a game that you want to watch, it's the first one on Saturday. We have New York Excelsior versus London Spitfire, 2 of the top 3 teams in the league right now. What do you have?
I'm going 3-2 to my London Spitfire.
All right. You know what? That is pretty good. I mean, that's understandable. They 4-0'd flippin' Dynasty, all right? So I'm giving them a little bit more credit than you. 3-1 Spitfire.
See, for me, I have the Excelsior are just so mechanically strong. I don't think they're going to be able to quite muscle as much as they were with Seoul Dynasty. But I feel like between the 3 teams, since we've seen them all kind of play now, obviously this will kind of answer some of the remaining questions, at least for the standings now. I feel like Excelsior are the most mechanically powerful.
Understandable.
I feel like Dynasty are the most adaptive.
Yes.
But I feel like the Spitfire is the perfect middle ground between the two. I think they are
not really jack of all trades, but just everything about them is just good.
They're mechanically, so powerful.
Their depth, very strong.
And then on top of that, this character's not working, switch it.
Yeah.
This player's not working, switch it.
Sure.
This strategy's not working, switch it. So for me, I just feel like Spitfire going to take that W.
Best of all worlds. Interesting.
And if they do claim that basically right there, Excelsior versus Spitfire basically tells you who is going to be your number 1 seed for the playoffs and who's going to get that very important bye for the playoff games.
That's right.
So moving into our second game of the day, the Houston Outlaws will take on the Boston Uprising. So where are you going with this one?
This is going to be a great game. I have 2-1 Outlaws taking it.
2-1 Outlaws taking it. You're throwing a little tie in there.
That's right.
All right, I have the Outlaws cleaning the house for the most part, 3-1.
All right. And we've seen some great stuff from the Boston Uprising, but I feel like the Outlaws are just on a different level. So that's why I feel like it is a good place to just say, you know what, the Outlaws are taking it, but it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
It is. The only thing I could see opening the door for the Uprising more to claim a little more from this game would be the fact that at this point, if the way we predict things happens, Houston's out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
they can't take a spot with what we're predicting. So for me, the only thing I could see is if Houston goes, all right, guys, you know what? Let's Mendo hasn't been playing a lot. I don't actually know if he's played at all so far.
Right.
Clockwork hasn't been getting a huge amount of time. Let's maybe play around with our roster, see some of our squad depth. Let's get some of these other guys in here, other looks in here, because they're going to be prepping for stage 2. And if they already know they're out of the playoffs, winning obviously is important, but making sure you're ready for that next stage is also going to be I mean, something that you can't quite calculate. So that would be,
Right.
I would say, the door opening for the Uprising is the Uprising are still trying to prove they're a top team.
Yes.
Whereas the Outlaws have kind of already done that.
Yep.
So for the Uprising, they're going to be playing, I mean, I feel like at 100%, where the Outlaws may be seeing what their roster depth can do. So I would say that is the Uprising's, that would be their way in.
Sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if Linkster is back and if they're going to go ahead and put him back in there. Will Uprising be able to match the sniping potential that Linkster brings to the team? Are they going to actually continue playing Clockwork, maybe get some more game time for their subs? Just like you said. So I enjoy watching Clockwork. I enjoy watching Linkster. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they choose to do. But it's going to be a good game nonetheless.
So wrapping up day 4's, like I said, the non-playoff part of day 4, we have the Florida Mayhem versus the Philadelphia Fusion. And I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going 3-1 to the Fusion. What do you got?
Well, what a coinkydink. I have 3-1 going Fusion as well.
Okay. See, I just don't think we've seen enough from the Mayhem to give them more than 3-1. They've looked, honestly, decently solid on both Dorado and Numbani.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They've looked okay on Eichenwald, and that's kind of where their team ends.
But none of those can match up to the Fusion, which have just really all across the board have shown just a better, better team on those maps.
And I mean, the worst we've seen out of the Fusion so far was against the Valiant, and I mean the Valiant are a top tier team. I mean, we've seen all of the big teams fall at this point. We've seen them fall in different ways and different styles. The Valiant got the better of the Fusion, and the Fusion just weren't quite able to adapt. But
Right.
I feel like the only way Mayhem gets more out of this game is if Tvik and Logic finally turn on.
Right. I mean, I've seen Logic kind of get into the zone every now and then, and what he can do is just incredible. But it hasn't been a continuous, on fire moment for him. He doesn't come to play. He has to warm up a little bit more, and it's kind of just spots here and there.
Exactly. And I feel like we've seen, for me, I think both Tvik and Logic need to perform against Carpe and Shadowburn, because we have seen them, I mean, duke it out with Effect and I mean that kind of level player.
Sure.
And not to diss any of the players, but we have seen Linkser, we have seen Fleta, we have seen Prophet, we have seen Birdring, we have seen Munchkin and Bunny just run circles around these guys.
That's right.
And I mean, when you're a star DPS player for your team, you cannot allow these players to just, I mean, Sabiolbi, you can't just let these players run rampant on your team and not at least make them question. When you start seeing Tracers dive Junkrat McCree, you're not even making them hesitate.
Right.
So for me, it is important in this game that Mayhem, at the very least, makes the Fusion ask, ooh, wait, hold on, is this going to work?
Right. That's right.
Here we are.
The big one, the first playoffs of the entire league.
Yes, the Stage 1 playoffs. I'll go first if you don't mind.
Sure.
I have Excelsior taking the 3rd place spot, followed by Dynasty taking the 2nd place spot, and the Spitfire claiming the number 1 spot. Excelsior versus Dynasty. I have it a 3-1 going to the Dynasty, and I'm going to wait for the finals. I'm going to let you catch up. Where are you?
I have Dynasty coming in for that 3rd spot, Excelsior coming in for the 2nd spot, and the 1st spot, just like you, I have Spitfire.
Okay.
Excelsior versus Dynasty, I have them going to overtime 3-2 Dynasty.
Oh,
that's right.
Dynasty flipping it on them.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be great, and we both have Dynasty going into the finals with Spitfire. What do you have winning?
I have the Spitfire winning 3-1.
I also have Spitfire taking it. I'm having them taking it in overtime 3-2. So we both have Spitfire winning it finally. They are going to be taking the prize pool Oh my goodness.
$125,000.
That's just insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and there are 3 more after this. You can make so much money. I am so excited for this week to end and see who's on top. I'm excited to see how all of these teams change from the stage. I'm excited to see how the meta changes with all the nerfs that are coming in, the mercy changes. Guys, this is a story to follow. It is going to be such a blast.
Absolutely. And obviously, after this week, there won't be a good luck, have fun for a while, as the stage break will be in effect. There obviously will be a GG Well Played at the end of this week, wrapping up and kind of taking a look at how our predictions were as far as how accurate we were throughout the entire week. We're going to be putting out some extra content during the break, so the stage break, so keep an eye out for some fun breakdowns and deeper, more in-depth looks at the team. But until we see you for Stage 2, good luck and have fun. Hey guys, Greenhavak and Cynize here. Just wanted to say that we like to hear from you guys down in the comments. Let's get some Manifest Destiny going. Who do you have for these games this week?
We want to hear from you and your thoughts. If you want to go ahead and find out more and see all of our future videos, go ahead and like and subscribe as well.
It really does help us out and grows the channel and lets us know what you really enjoy. And if there's any other videos you want to see from us, put them down in the comments as well, or feel free to message us directly. You can also find me on Twitter at Greenhavak.
You can find me on Twitter, official Cynize.
So that is it, guys. You have a good one.